Hey everyone, welcome to the Mental Wealth Agenda podcast, a platform created to normalize conversations around mental health and realistic self care. I'm your host, Shadia, and I appreciate you being here with me. Now, if you're new here, thanks for tuning in to the second episode of the Mental Wealth Agenda podcast, and make sure you check out our first episode, which actually includes a visual out on YouTube. Today's episode is called Starting a Mental Wealth Journey. And if you're listening to this when it drops, you know it's a Valentine's Day release. So happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I figured why not teach everyone how to begin a realistic self love journey on one of the most loving days of the year. Now, before we get into it, go ahead and make sure you're subscribed on whatever platform you're listening to. And I'll wait for y'all to do that too. So, this is full audio, so I'm completely in my comfort zone for real this episode. So I'll go ahead, sit here and wait for y'all to get it together, period. And I got my notes, so don't play with me. Now, today's episode, like I said, is going to be starting your mental wealth journey. So I will be giving y'all 5 steps on starting a mental wealth journey. And sorry for any disruptions that might come in the background. If you watched the first episode, you already know what setup I got going on right now for the moment. And yeah, so I just wanted to get that out the way because apparently there's something going on in the background. I don't know too much about that. So let's stay to the topic. Anyway, so I'm going to be giving y'all like 5 steps on starting a mental wealth journey, which obviously that starts with understanding what mental wealth is, because if you don't know what mental wealth is, either you don't follow me on social media or you don't actually read the posts that I post on social media. But we could talk about that some other time because I got the definition right here ready for y'all. So, mental health is a term used to describe one's psychological and emotional well being, while mental wealth is the idea of having and using positive strategies in everyday life to increase mental health. So, this is basically addressing different aspects of your everyday life, starting with your thoughts and behaviors. And if you want to make it real short and simple, it's trying to live a better life by thinking better thoughts and doing better things, pretty much. So let's get into it. Okay, I had to get me some water now. Okay, so now if you know me, you know I would just be like, find a great therapist and live the life you deserve. And I'm not saying I don't feel that way in the back of my mind at the end of the day, but I also understand that not everyone is comfortable with the idea of therapy. And I definitely can't afford to come right out the gate advocating for like diagnosis and medicated treatment for mental health, because literally half of my listeners would stop right now and not look back probably. So instead, this episode will discuss the beginning of a mental health journey, focusing on realistic, simple, beginner ways to start breaking down your old self in order to become your new self, pretty much. And this is also not really in any particular order. Like obviously I'll be saying like 1, 2, like starting off with the first thing, second thing, but none of these things really have to happen in a specific order. Like whatever you feel resonates with you the most and you feel most comfortable with starting with, I suggest you start there. And, everything is baby steps. Small progress over no progress at the end of the day. Now, I'm going to start with one of the most obvious and probably one of the most biggest cliches nowadays when someone recommends like a mental health journey, but your social media consumption. Like, literally, we all know that we're all somewhat addicted or attached to social media, and not in a way that we feel like we can't live without it, but we just don't really go without it in our daily routine. So, obviously, I'm talking to you. You probably found me through a social media platform. And while I'm on this, like in this chapter of my life, I'm definitely active on social media just about every single day. So it's really unrealistic to try going cold turkey off social media without a plan. But what is more realistic is to unfollow accounts that are like negative or gossip based or things that make you see yourself and compare yourself to other people. So whether that be like clothes, fashion, whether that be like lifestyle or just someone's home or, like I know that a lot of people are quick to want to buy different things to like keep up with other people, which you don't think of it in that way of like, oh, I want to buy those shoes to be like her. But like in reality, if you see some shoes online that someone's wearing and then you go to buy them, that's exactly what happens. You're being influenced. Like that's the exact thing. You're going out and comparing yourself, saying, oh, I don't have that and someone else does, and you're getting it. And I'm not saying it's not because you're not interested in it. Like obviously that's the case. But at the end of the day, the point is proven. So yeah, I think it's like a realistic thing to do is to go through your accounts. I did this like last year and the year before last, and I ended up unfollowing maybe 1,000 people right off of my Instagram, whether that be like old pages, all of those type of things. Now, another thing I feel helps me kind of detach from social media is to turn off all of my push notifications, like not having anything come to my phone. Basically, my reason for doing that is like, when I choose to be on social media, I'm on social media. When I close the app, I close the app. The app's not coming to me. No one's saying that a message was sent to me. No one's saying that I need to look at a status or, look at a video or anything like that. So that's one technique that I use. A close friend of mine, she actually offloads her apps on her iPhone. So being able to, not being able to click on it immediately. Like when you click on it, it will take some time to load, like download the app all over again, pretty much. So that kind of deters her from waiting on an app to become available. I think another thing with social media is like being unrealistic. I think it's unrealistic for someone to like unfollow all celebrity pages. And I think a lot of people think like, oh, if I'm not following any celebrities, I won't compare myself or concern myself with people who aren't even worried about anyone that's struggling with my same struggle right now. But if you unfollow celebrity gossip page or celebrity news pages, you'll be less likely to see like drama and gossip and negativity. So a realistic way to combat this is to just follow your favorite celebrities. Like literally, it's that simple. Just follow your favorite celebrities. There's nothing wrong with still following people that have a positive influence on you. Just because have things you don't have, if they do have a positive influence on you, then it's all okay to like engage with them on social media or rely on them for motivation. I mean, like I said, I literally am running a social media page that relies on other people engaging with. So yeah, if you're not sure what that might look like, it's really just asking yourself, what's the benefit of you seeing this person's post on social media? If there's no benefit, then there's really no further question of like whether you need to follow them still. And I also feel like this goes, like it kind of goes without saying to say that make sure people are aligned with who you are now. And I used to struggle with this a lot with like the city that I'm from, because my Facebook, for example, I've had this Facebook since like middle school, meaning I'm like tied to, the city of Columbus through this Facebook. So when I left for college, I was like, well, I just still want to make sure that I'm like keeping in contact with everyone from Columbus and still making sure that I'm updated about what's going on in the city and everything like that. But it kind of, I don't know, like, what was my point of doing that necessarily? That's something that I realized last year when I like unfollowed a bunch of people. I'm like, I mean, yeah, like these are people that I know from way back in the day, and I still wish them well, and I hope I hope to see them do it. Like, I hope to see them doing well. But most of the time, they're not doing well. Most of the time, they're not doing well. And that's just the honesty about it. So I had to remove a lot of people from my social medias. And nowadays on Facebook, there will be people complaining all day, like, oh, y'all are so negative. People are so negative, and people are so negative. And it's like, I don't have that problem. If people are negative on your social media, you need to remove the negativity. You're the one that's in control of the energy that you consume. And I feel like that's the whole point of me talking about starting a mental wealth journey, is because the fact that people don't understand how much more in control they are of their own reality and the way they feel about the life they live every single day. And I don't know, to some people it's simple and other people it's not, and that's why I'm here talking about it. So to go on to the next thing about like other types of media, not even social media, but other types of media that we consume in general, like our music. I'm just gonna say it, y'all. I'm just gonna say it. Like, I'm not saying that you need to listen to like spiritual music or gospel or, you know, country music or anything like that, but I honestly deleted pretty much all of the rap music off of my phone 2022. So this was like, I decided to only keep R&B or pop or like lo-fi or like I still had some rap, but like positive conscious rap, you know, those type of things. Yeah, I don't know. I just like deleted all of the music, all of the rap music, because I just felt like, bro, one day I was just listening to music and I was just like, why are these lyrics so terrible? Like, I literally was like, why are these lyrics so terrible? Like, what? And I'm sitting here bobbing my head to this energy. Like, this is the energy that I'm feeding off of right now. Like, it low-key made me disgusted, even though, you know, although I feel like everyone deserves the respect to, you know, listen to what they listen to or have their own style. But I just think that it's important to understand that you can consume things for a certain reason. Like, like I wasn't listening to any of this rap music every day, like on an everyday basis. But in the gym, yeah, I created a full gym playlist that has, you know, like old school Lil Wayne, like Juvenile. I got Trillville on there. I got Gucci Mane. I got whatever you want to, like, I have newer artists too. But in general, I'm saying I didn't delete the music from my life completely. Or if I'm gonna go out to party with my friends or something, like, of course that's gonna be the type of music that I turn on. But that's because I'm already channeling positive energy, saying like, yeah, we're about to have fun, we're about to turn up. The same way in the gym, I'm like, yeah, I'm about to move these weights. Like, this is not easy or anything like that, but I'm about to kill it. You know, sweating, go hard. Like, everybody about to be looking at me. No, I'm just kidding. Let me not get carried away. But honestly, I'm serious though. I really felt like, I don't know, like that music, removing that music really had an impact on me. And I also just started consuming music less in general. So, for example, instead of listening to like old school R&B or gossip while cleaning up, because that's just like the classic Black thing to do, I started listening to lo-fi music instead. So music that doesn't really have much lyrics to it, I guess, but more of a slow, steady beat, or even if it's, you know, it could even be something that's got some beat to it, got some rhythm to it, but it's just the lack of words, you know, like you don't have any other thoughts coming intruding your thoughts. Like you're cleaning up. Why would you need to be thinking about like men cheating on women in the 90s? Or why would you want to listen to worship music in the background when you're supposed to be doing like a difficult task? Like you don't necessarily need your energy to be interrupted. And I know it might sound dramatic, but it really has had an effect on me. And also, I thought you were listening to this for like my instruction anyway. So you literally can't like judge. So on to the next. Now, the last thing, and I'm almost scared to say this because it's not going to get me canceled. Like, it's not going to get me canceled out in public. It's just some of y'all might not like this. Some of y'all might not like this. So, like, don't turn this off, please. Please, please don't turn this off. But y'all, the baddies are bad for y'all. Like, come on. They're not good for y'all. Y'all know it. And I don't want to drag anyone. I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. Like, none of the above. I don't want you guys to feel judged. But like I said, y'all came here for a little guidance, a little instruction. I instruct you guys to turn that mess off. It's not good for your mental health. Okay? It's not good for your heart or your brain. Now, and it's not like, I know it's unrealistic to be like, oh, I'm not going to watch anything like that anymore. Like, I'm not going to watch any show that's related to violence or anything that's related to negativity or anything like that. But I think when you think about other shows that are like competitive shows, maybe cooking shows, you know, like how they have different fashion shows, different tattoo competition shows, like those type of shows will give you just about almost the same adrenaline rush as these baddie type shows. Not because of the pace or the drama, but like you actually get to see different conflicts arise and solve themselves through different tactics. And also when you see it's like different skills being applied and you're like, oh man, that's kind of cool. Like, I wish I could do that. Like, oh, maybe I could learn to do that. Or even like vacation and travel shows. Everyone wants to travel anyway, so, you know, watch a little vacation show, watch a little travel show, or even like those survivor challenge shows, things like that. But ultimately, I just feel like it's realistic to take a break. Like, really, just take a break from negativity. Like I said, the social media, the music, the TV shows, just take you a break. And even read you a good book. And speaking of books, which I'll come back to that after the second one. So, yeah, now the second one, I would say the second step to a mental wealth journey is definitely based on your surroundings. Now, when I say your surroundings, I mean like the relationships around you, like who you hang out with regularly, who you hang out with the most, and what you each supply to each other. And I'm not saying like one-sided relationships or one-way relationships, because not every relationship is reciprocal. Not every relationship can be, or not relationship has to be. So that's not what I mean. But I really mean like take a second to think about if a relationship is good for you. Like not good to you, but good for you, because there's a big difference. And I feel like a lot of us don't really understand the ways we hold ourselves back. Therefore, we can't even see how other people might not be good for us, even though they're good to us, or we think they're good to us. Yeah, and I feel like when it comes to different friendships and different relationships, it's really about whether, like when you're starting this journey for yourself, you have to think about whether or not you feel like there's any value to a relationship. Like, of course, there might be issues, there might be problems, but when you're embarking on a journey like this, you really have to ask yourself what improvements need to be made for relationships to be worthy. You know, like if you've already been fighting back and forth with someone, is it worth it to try to grow with them during this time when you're trying to grow with yourself? Because honestly, it's not going to be easy. It's really not, because change is not easy, and it's not easy to realize your mistakes and your shortcomings, and also it's not easy to realize other shortcomings. When you realize that you might have been accepting less than what you've deserved, that doesn't always feel good. So I'm not saying that this mental wealth journey is going to be something beautiful, but the end results will be. So it'll always be worth it, period. Now, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, like who's gonna understand this journey that you're going on? Like who's gonna be like, oh, she acting funny, he acting funny, like, oh, he trying to act different now that he this, or she trying to act funny now. She ain't been talking to me. Like, who's gonna be worth it to take on that journey with you? Who deserves to be on that journey with you? And who also understands in order to be on that journey with you, it requires some level or some journey within themselves. Like, literally, you know, if I'm growing and I'm growing as a person and I'm growing as a woman, I can't be with someone or around someone or something that's not growing and not willing to grow. And I think that that's something that I've had difficulty with myself, because while being on this journey, I've had to leave so many people behind. Like, y'all wouldn't even believe it. And that's for, I got multiple other episodes coming y'all's way for that, but it's just, it hurts to be in this space of like growth, because you're growing in the direction that you feel you need to grow in. Especially with someone, as someone who just kind of realized the power in like being treated for your mental health or being diagnosed with a mental health disorder that you've been struggling with. I just feel like some people don't deserve to be on this journey with me, because I've already fought hard enough for them to have the pieces of me. You know, like you couldn't accept or love or help the pieces of me. So as I become like my fuller self or my fuller version of my best self, I just don't think you deserve that. And I think that that's something that we can talk about in like friendships and love languages and everything like that. So, but in general, it's like, who feels like love to you the most, and who feels like they might have your back during when the going gets tough, while you embark on this new journey of yourself, which goes directly into the third point. Ultimately, you want to really think about who you're around and who feels like love, and not a romantic love, but a love language, which brings me around to my third point. This is the perfect episode and time for me to get into the fact that everyone on the internet is talking about love languages, but they don't know love languages from like a can of paint. Like, they don't know it a foot from their face. They don't, okay? I'm not trying to drag nobody. Like I said, I'm not here to clown people. I'm just here to call it like it is. Realistic conversations. Y'all, Dr. Gary Chapman. He's a psychologist, and he wrote a book. He did some research, wrote a book, The 5 Love Languages. Okay? That's the book. I swear it's like, it's not going to steer you wrong on a self-love journey, because you can start to understand your love language as a person and communicate this with other people around you, your friends, family members, whatever, your partners, and all of that. And this is really important because not only can you communicate it, but people know straight up, like, whether or not they're willing to be that person for you. You know, like, it's not going to be a big like, they can't come at you later saying, oh, I didn't know or I didn't expect. And I'm not saying they won't. I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying they logically can't. Like, they can do it, it just won't make sense. Like, they can do it, it'll just be like falsified. Like, it'll be a lie. They'll just be making it up. And people have done that to me. So I'm just sending y'all a warning that I have gotten very big on learning and communicating my love language, which is communication, like words of affirmation. I cannot be a true, like a real friend to you. I can't feel like we have a great friendship if we do not communicate. Like, nowadays, everyone wants to say, like, oh, I don't know how to text. Like, oh, like, this is a digital world. I know that there's people that text people all day long. It doesn't have to be you. But what I'm saying is, if we don't have conversation, like, I'm not going to reach out to you when I so-called need you. Like, people say that. Reach out to me if you need me. You know, I'm here if I need you. I mean, if you need me. And it's really like, I'm not sure if you are or not, because every time I reach out to you, you don't reply. So why would I reach out to you in crisis? I think that that's something people don't get. But like, that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, like, let me know in my DMs or like the comments if you're listening to this on YouTube, or like, let me know if we should do a little book club, because we can read the 5 love languages together. I got time and I got my own copy, so we could get into it for real. Now, the fourth step, this is kind of right in the same category of love languages, but it's really working on your emotional intelligence as part of your healing. So another great tool, something I would recommend, that's not a book, and it's almost a little silly. Sometimes it's silly. Adults think it's silly sometimes, but honestly, it's needed. A feelings wheel. You know, like, learn your emotions, bro. Everything is not happy, sad, mad. Like, I promise you it's not. So a feelings wheel is just the beginning of all of the different feelings that we might be going through almost every day. And start to address your feelings by journaling or, you know, using your voice notes, recording, things like that, along with the feelings wheel. You know, like, there's so many people that say, like, I can't talk about my feelings, or I won't talk about my feelings. And that's what why a lot of people hesitate to go to therapy. But when you start addressing your feelings on your own, like journaling, you know, that type of thing, you will literally be able to start having conversations with other people about your feelings, their feelings, you know, relationships and stuff like that. So let me know in like my DMs or anything like that if you guys want me to send you a personal copy, like, of a feelings wheel. And also let me know if you want digital journal recommendations, because I don't really journal that much on my laptop or on my phone or anything, but there are apps and there are websites. I have a few websites set up that are for like planning and documentation. So I'm really a pen and paper girl, so I really don't get into all of that. But if I had an iPad or something, maybe that would make sense. And along with emotional intelligence, that also comes with like coping skills. Like, learn how to cope through different emotions that come up for you. Obviously, there are way too many emotions or feelings for me to even discuss, but how do you work through those tough emotions? Like, I can admit, anger is an emotion that I cannot seem to work my way through. If anyone has some tips about like how to calm yourself down from not being too angry, let me know, because I've tried a few things. But yeah, learning your own emotions and how to cope with them, how to address them, and also learn some I statements, which, like I said, I've come bearing tools. I am working on my website. When my website gets up, I'm gonna be able to, everyone will be able to access these resources a lot easier than reaching out to me directly. Yeah, so you guys won't have to worry about that. Me and my girl Steph, shout out to my girl Steph, we actually just kind of been like fooling around. She hasn't been fooling around, so let me not say that, but I have definitely been like fumbling the bag when it comes to scheduling and actually meeting together and discussing the website and making progress on that. But she has been making progress. So shout out to her, and that's going to be coming up soon. But until then, reach out to me. I mean, what else can I say? Like, reach out to me. Now, what was I saying? Y'all, someone came in, so I had to pause it, and so I like lost my train of thought. But the I statements, yeah, when you get it together and you start addressing people using I statements, you can truly work on your communication, how to have hard conversations without feeling as if you could have done better communicating. And I just say that because I'm not going to say that using I statements will have everyone magically listening to you or anything like that, because that is not the case. But what I do know is using I statements can prove to you that you did try to have a conversation. Like, that's all you can do. You know that you've done your best. So what can you say? And last but not least, to this point, really know what relationships or issues are even worth addressing. Like, honestly, like, you need to know what is worth taking the time to address, because that's something that I've had a hard time learning with when it comes to like family, for example, or my own feelings. Like, what is worth addressing, because closure and forgiveness, things like that, those are completely one-sided. And that's one thing you have to hold on to during your mental wealth journey, is knowing that everything is one-sided when it's self-serving. Okay? Let me repeat that. Everything is one-sided when it's self-serving, because no one's just going to come and give you any piece of your healing. Like, it's all going to come from within. And that's why I'm giving y'all this advice, because like no one's going to come give you healing. And I don't mean that in a spiritual aspect, because obviously, you know, if you believe in a higher power, you know that that is a power from, that's why it's called a higher power, because you know that it's a power stronger than what you could ever provide yourself. But when it comes to like this whole worldly course, everything is one-sided when it's self-serving. Now, last but not least, this is really obvious, that's why I saved it for last. Find some healthy habits. Like, try returning to your truest self, which may actually be your inner child. Like, if you used to like to draw a lot or write poetry or do different things, or maybe even skate or swim a lot, if there are different things like that that you used to enjoy as a kid and you stopped doing them for one reason or another, it doesn't matter what it is, try leaning back into that. Try taking a lesson, or try asking around, seeing if anyone else is interested, and just being open to trying new things, be open to failing things, and just find some things that can start to replace the habits you're trying to get away from, whether it be sobriety related, relationship related, friendship related, habit related, just try finding some healthier habits or hobbies, like to replace things. Like try visiting new spaces. I've been in the library deep all last year. Like I got back in the library really like the beginning of last year, and I've been in it ever since. Like I got to go to the library at least once a week, at least twice a week, because it really is just that space that it just relaxes me. Like I love reading, I love writing, I even enjoy people watching. Like I could pull up to the library, sit there and just watch people all day, especially because I am a creative. I could watch people and just narrate anything. But try going to coffee shops, try going to restaurants, different things. Put yourself in places you would like to make friends, even if you don't go in there with the intention to make friends. Like, I'm always in the library. I think that I would make good friends in the library, but I'm not in the library looking for friendship at all. With that being said, just be vulnerable to opening new friendships, though. Like, if you are in those positive spaces and there happens to be someone approaching you, be open to new friendships or new relationships, even if you don't make friendships with someone and they can just be a resourceful person for you. I think that's something that we kind of take for granted at times. And another thing that I meant to say this along with like trying out new habits or like getting back into different things or trying new hobbies or whatever the case, it's good to find a partner sometimes, or it's good to have other people to invite in on that journey with you. But always do this without aligning yourself with their discipline or their progress. I've I've seen this many a time because I'm someone that likes to go to the gym. When I'm disciplined and on top of my game, I'm going to the gym at 5:30 a.m. 5 days a week. And that requires a lot of discipline. So there are people that will be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. You're not doing anything but playing in my face, wasting my time when you keep canceling because you can't get up at the time that you can't get up at the time that you just said that you were going to get up. Like, that's okay. That's you. You're not a morning person. Stop making promises that you can't keep or trying to align yourself with other people's discipline or other people's progress. And I think that's another thing. People will try to go to the gym with me and then they will do things that are completely ridiculous, like try to lift as much as I've lifted when I've been consistent in the gym and they haven't been for a year. Like, that doesn't make sense. Just be there just to be there, just to have a partner, just to have someone there to make you comfortable or hold you accountable if that's, if that's what you think. But yeah. Now, before I wrap this up, make sure y'all are following us on social media. Make sure you subscribe on whatever you're listening on today, and make sure you share this with everyone you love, because mental health is true wealth and healing is my agenda. And I know I said that I only have 5 tips for y'all, but the 6th tip, the thing that I know will definitely work for sure, the 6th tip for a great mental wealth journey is finding you a therapist and medication. Bye. Love y'all.